Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we're talking about regulation again, delisting, man, because think about this. The Chinese regulators came out and said that this is false, this is not what we're trying to do. We are actually more worried about the US just delisting us for security reasons, as they say. So, in my opinion right now, I think as investors, we gotta be more worried about USA just delisting these companies because they just don't like China than China actually banning VIE and just delisting companies off the exchange. The Chinese regulators came out again and saying, no, this isn't true. They're trying to close the loophole used by tech firms for foreign IPOs. They released this, they're denying it. This was on their website saying they're denying all of this. So guys, can you please like this video, subscribe down below, man. I'm always providing you with so much new content, man. Thank you so much. Come on, click the button, subscribe. So like Chinese securities regulator responds to new SEC rules on listing in US. This is just Sunday, December 5th afternoon. This is just yesterday. And this is all because the US Securities Exchange Commission announced the implementation of rules holding foreign companies accountable act, and individual companies announced the beginning of delisting from the US, which has aroused widespread concerns in the market. So what are the CSRC's comments about this? And the last comment they make in this article is amazing. This should actually settle you down a little bit. I know it's not going to be a lot, but just the Chinese regulators saying this, what they say at the end of this article, it should wake you up and it should be kind of put more ease on you. So this is the answer for what the USA is doing to China right now. We have taken note of the situation, concerns in the market about the cooperation between US and China in audit oversight and the prospects of the enterprises listing in the US. The CSRC and relevant regulatory authorities have always been open to enterprises' choice of overseas listing venues, fully respect companies' independent choice of listing venues in accordance with the law and compliance. So they said they respect companies from China listing on the US long as they're compliant with the new rules, because we see the new crazy rules going on in China with like all the security concerns and just all the regulations. So recently individual media reported, I just showed you that media article, that Chinese regulators will prohibit the overseas listings of enterprises with VIE structure and promote the listing of Chinese enterprises listed on the US. This is complete misunderstanding and misinterpretation. So they are flat out denying it. There's no in between, there's no whatever. Remember, these guys are the talking heads for Xi Jinping. These are not just guys randomly going out and discussing this. So you have to believe that Xi Jinping is thinking the same way because they're all one unit. So we understand some domestic companies are actively communicating with domestic foreign regulators to pursue listings in the US. So they're still communicating, they're still trying to get the rules figured out. In terms of US-China audit oversight cooperation, recently the CSRC and the SEC, the US Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, and other regulators have had frank and constructive communication on resolving problems in cooperation, and positive progress has been made in advancing cooperation on some key matters. So they're talking about this, they're going back and forth, and they're trying to figure out all these accounting rules. I believe that this is actually a US thing. US, I think, really wants to delist these companies. Even if they follow these instructions, I just think maybe the US just does not want to have these companies on their stock exchange. We believe that as long as the regulators of both sides continue to uphold this principle of mutual respect, rationality, pragmatism, and professional mutual trust in their dialogue and consultation, a mutual acceptable path of cooperation can be found. In fact, China and US have been cooperating in this field of audit oversight of Chinese companies listed in the US, and also explored effective ways of cooperation through pilot inspections, laying a relatively good foundation for cooperation between the two sides. However, some U.S. political forces have criticized capital market regulation in recent years. So that's what I think is going on. Is just the China and U.S. is just kind of going back and forth on what to do. This started with the Trump era, saying that Chinese companies should not be in our, like, pretty much on our stock exchanges, and how he's going against that for national security concerns, right? So I think that's the main issue right now, and I'm hoping that issue kind of gets settled with the US and China politics, man. So Chinese companies list in the US for no reason, and coercing them to delist, which is not only contrary to the basic principles of the market economy and rule of law, but also detrimental to the interests of the global investors and the international status of the U.S. capital market, which is a lose-lose approach that benefits no one. So basically kicking off Chinese company off the U.S. stock exchange is just, he's just saying it's a lose-lose. Like, no one wins that game. Like, what happens when this kind of their common interests and their common approval of both countries just go bad and go to shit? Like, it doesn't benefit anyone. In today's highly globalized capital market, it is all more important for regulators to deal with the audit oversight cooperation in a pragmatic, rational, and professional manner. Forcing Chinese companies listed in the US to delist should not be responsible policy option. And that's what we should actually be more worried about. But if they do delist, we still have that backup of pretty much buying from the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So there's still always that little like light at the end of the tunnel in case this happens. But this is the key thing right here. For some time now, relevant Chinese regulators have introduced a series of policy measures to promote the regulated development of the platform economy, the main purpose of which is to regulate monopolistic behavior, protect the rights and interests of small, medium-sized enterprises, data security, personal information security, eliminate the financial regulatory vacuum, prevent disorderly capital expansion. In response to these new issues and tasks, regulators in various countries are also trying to adopt different regulatory measures to promote a healthier and more sustainable development of the platform economy. Therefore, the relevant policies introduced by the Chinese government are not suppression of specific sectors or private enterprises, nor are they necessarily related to the overseas listing activities of enterprises. See, this is key right there. They're basically dismantling everything that people have been saying about these companies, that they're trying to stifle private businesses. They're trying to take over these businesses. The CCP does not care about what's going on. They're just trying to make the playground even fair and stop all that unhealthy behavior that's going on in China. We know China is kind of honestly like a cutthroat place, and businesses were just doing anything to kind of promote their businesses. And he's seeing that as that's not going to be successful in the long run for the country. So they're saying they're not doing that. And this is the Chinese regulators saying this. So you just can't go back. And this is just the Chinese format, and it was actually translated into English. So guys, tell me what you think about this, man. Is this more good news for Baba shareholders, or is this doesn't matter? The VIE structure is still there. All that banning risk is still there, man. So tell me what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Peace.